Colgate's first Patriot League championship in 2008. Chris holds Colgate's program record for career face-off wins with 603 and a season-high face-off win percentage of 65.3. And for those that don't know about face-off percentages, that's unbelievable. Let's just say. Chris also represented Team USA at the 2014 World Lacrosse Championships and achieved remarkable success in Major League Lacrosse from 2008 to 2014. Beyond his playing career, Chris founded X Factor Lacrosse and partnered with Face-Off Academy to mentor the next generation of face-off specialists, largely in the Bay Area, including one of our current freshmen. So Chris, we're going to rely on you for that one, but super fired up. And also, it was not a recruiting violation for the compliance officers in the room. In addition to coaching, he contributes his talents at Google on sales and plays an active role in lacrosse development, serving on the board of the Haudenosaunee National Development Group and Team USA's High Performance Committee. Chris Eck, welcome to the Colgate Hall of Honor, my man.
I guess I'm setting the tone for tonight, huh? Yeah. Thanks again for that intro. I really appreciate it. I want to recognize real quick, All Night Long, probably not the walk-up song that you expected.
That's song.
We had a tradition at Colgate Lacrosse, at least it was, hopefully it's still a tradition, it may not be, but we played All Night Long and then Let's Get It On after every win. You can take it from there on what we were doing. Walty, do you want to come up here? You want to come up? Come here, bud. Sorry, guys.
Walter.
Come here, bud. Here, I'll just pick him up. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Come here. Stand right here for me? Yeah, I hate when that happens too. So I stayed before you guys, dad of two, one of them here, the other at home, a truly incredible wife, Ariel over there. She's put up with a lot the last week, so if you guys don't mind giving her a quick round. I graduated from Colgate University and Duke University, as Matt mentions, now in sales and coaching the game I love out in the Bay Area. But I want to take you guys back to how I like to think it all started. If you want, close your eyes, but imagine 6th grade Chris. I was about as wide as I was tall. I had a sweet middle part. I wore the coolest Jankos, and I was trying to be the sweetest rollerblader you can imagine. Needless to say, I was lost. My parents were worried. Okay, maybe they were terrified. Right, guys? I picked up a stick in 7th grade. I was fortunate enough that I had someone named Kim Bechtold move to my town from Long Island to Connecticut. It may sound odd to you guys, but the sport didn't exist in my town at that time. He started a program alongside of Jim Burns and Neil Houck, and my parents from the Midwest, Cincinnati, had never heard of the game, but they signed me up. Getting a stick in my hand was absolutely life-changing. It was almost a toy, a tool, a sport. Over here. And I became absolutely obsessed with it. Can you hold my hand real quick? 3 incredible things happened to me at that moment. My parents leveraged my love of lacrosse and the alignment to strong academics and basically told me the best team in the world is Princeton. I obviously didn't end up there, but it was a smart move by you guys to get me to get my grades back on track. Lacrosse was essentially started off as a weekly clinic, again, when it's kind of in this early infancy. We do this big fall clinics, and then eventually I tryouts in the spring. And I'll still never forget to this day, Kim Bechtold read out the names of all the guys, and most of them my friends, to make the A team. I didn't hear my name, but I decided to walk over there with them because I had to believe that I was on that team, but was quickly told I would belong on the other side of the field. It was a gut punch, but frankly, it was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. It was an opportunity to develop as an athlete, and quite frankly, it put a chip on my shoulder and lit a fire that I took with myself to today. I was also introduced to a guy named Andy Towers, taught me everything I know about facing off, and someone named Jamie Monroe. As luck would have it, Jamie's son is now one of the assistants at Colgate, which made that connection yesterday, which is quite crazy full circle moment. Andy taught me everything I know, still have a relationship with him to this day, and quite frankly, one of the reasons I had a lot of success. So as I transitioned to high school, my obsession with lacrosse never faltered. I practiced 4 hours a day, or at least that's what I told everyone. We all know that's not true. I was in the front yard a lot, almost killed a couple neighbors, but let's be honest, they shouldn't have been gardening during my daily shoot around. I then needed to decide where I wanted to go to school. Do I go to Fairfield Prep, who some of you may have heard of, a well-known school, great athletics, great academics, or go to public high school, where there were girls? I chose public high school. Ariel, I had no game then. As you know, I still don't now. I don't now. I'm sure I remember. I then tried out for the high school team, and I was fortunate enough to be one of 2 freshmen who ended up making it. Let me be clear, this is largely due to my high school team existing for about 2 years before I got there, not necessarily due to my skill set. But what it did is it gave me the opportunity to play against probably a lot of guys Matt's recruiting now, Darien, New Caney, Greenwich, Wilton, etc. We fought hard, but we lost a lot. So fast forward to my junior year, not to do the back in my day, but I am going to go back in my day. There were no real club lacrosse programs. It was super juniors, and that was it. Which essentially meant that you tried out at the end of your junior year, you played a bunch, you got recruited, and that was it. I had some unfortunate luck at the end of my junior year. This will be a bit of a trend if you aren't noticing. I had a teammate yell, "Eck." I played offense at the time, which I know might be surprising to EJ here. Break his ankles, Eck. Did a top dodge, split left to right, broke my ankle. This meant that I was out for the summer, except a single camp called Champ Camp in August, which is intended for club teams to play together and show people. Hold on my hand. Sorry guys. Oh, so what it meant is, because I didn't have a club team, I just signed up for the ragtag open squad. Fortunately, I was able to stand out, ended up making the all-star team. During that summer, I talked to roughly 35 schools, and by talk to, I mean my parents helped me beg and plead for them to actually talk to me. And the other school I'll mention, other than Duke and Colgate tonight, is Bucknell. I remember distinctly being on campus with Federaca, is he still there? And he told me I wasn't good enough to play for them. Another chip, another fire. Soon after that, Nagel reached out, told me about a school named Colgate. Hadn't really heard of it at the time, but the rest was history. I came on a wonderful day like today, and great academics, great weather. What else could you ask for? So when I arrived at Colgate, I was nervous, but I was ready to start my experience of achieving my dream playing college lacrosse. In my first 30 minutes, I actually was thrown what is nice to call a hospital pass. I tore my ACL. My dream of playing college lacrosse, in my mind, was potentially over. Surgery happened a month later, thanks to Dante Britis, an actual Colgate alum. I'll still never forget, I sat on his kitchen table back home, he yanked on my knee, told me I needed ACL surgery, got surgery after that. Then I lost 20 pounds in 2 weeks, about a month later, had an unquenchable thirst, went to the infirmary multiple times, and they thought I had the flu all along. It was type 1 diabetes after they did a blood test. For context, I was a 900 blood sugar. Most of you sitting out here right now are somewhere between 80 and 120. It was almost 9 times what I should have been. It's quite scary. I eventually rehabbed my knee. I figured out what living with diabetes was like. That included going to the jug and the late night slices, and got back on the field for Colgate my sophomore year. From day one, I was able to make an impact, but unfortunately, I had 2 Liz Frank sprains in my feet. If you don't know what those are, that essentially means you broke your arch. The apex of your arch basically collapsed, and thankfully for Dr. O'Malley, he put 2 screws in both my feet throughout the years and put me back together. So during my time at Colgate, I had a great career. I love my time here, but I still had my freshman year of eligibility. Frankly, I didn't want to graduate late. I didn't want to do something different than my friends, but I had time to discuss with my parents what I wanted to do. And in summary, a lot of conversations, my dad basically said, you only have so long to play sports at a high level. You should think about going back. Colgate is just, going back to Colgate for 1 more year and interning for 6 months is just another experience in your life along the way. My mom, she told me she really wanted to keep tailgating. We have, and hopefully still do, or had the Colgate University Lacrosse Tailgating Association, t-shirt and all, and she wanted to be a part of it. Their priorities were straight, they both were right, and I was fortunate enough to come back for an extra semester. So in 2008, I came back in the spring after working for 6 months in New York, rehabbed my knee, which was my 5th surgery in 4 years. And frankly, the season started with a bit of a poof as opposed to a bang. We lost 4 or 5, we were 4 and 5, and we lost most of our games to pretty mediocre teams. But I distinctly remember a loss to Duke, obviously not a mediocre team. I broke down to my parents. I said, why am I doing this? Why did I put my life on hold just to get our asses handed to us for a 5th year? After a 14-hour drive back to Colgate, where we literally did not have air conditioning on the bus. You can imagine what we were dressed like by the end of it. The seniors had a meeting on how we wanted to approach the rest of the year. And frankly, the rest is history. The team recommitted to each other. We ended up turning the season around, went 7 straight, won Colgate's first ever Patriot League championship in lacrosse, and our first ever NCAA berth. Let's just say all night long was on a repeat for quite some time.
Yeah. Woo.
In the first round of the NCAA tournament, we actually played Notre Dame and ended up going to overtime. I remember this vividly. I actually won the face-off. We called timeout. We called our game over play where 2 guys did a hidden ball trick behind, crossed in front, passed it to Cromer. It was actually doing just an absolute deluge of a storm. Cromer shot the ball, went through the goalie's legs. We were ready to cheer, got stuck in the boat. Never crossed the goal line. Yeah, you guys can probably predict what happened next. Goalie cleared the ball. We played great defense. Notre Dame scored. My college career was over. As I mentioned, pro lacrosse didn't exist when I started my journey, but it was on the table now. And fortunately, I was drafted by the Boston Cannons. I was the 3rd backup when I first got there. That's like being assistant to the regional manager, for those who pay attention. But my first start was against someone named Jeff Snyder, who is one of the best players in the league. And to what Matt said before, I went 62%. I played absolutely out of my mind for my first game. I felt like Will Ferrell actually in old school. I didn't go streaking, but I felt like I blacked out. What just happened? I played my heart. After that season, the league actually contracted. We gained a bunch of great teammates. And before my 2nd year as a pro, I had played in 2 distinct kind of events or teams. I played in New York City or on Long Island for a guy named Billy Redmond, who was the general manager of Team USA, and in a men's league tournament down in Miami in the off-season with a teammate named Tommy Zumo. Little did I know both of them play a massive role in my success and my development as a lacrosse player. So Zumo took me under his wing. He taught me what it was like to be a pro, advocated for me with the current coaching staff, while Billy saw what I could do outside of the pro league. When I wanted to try out for Team USA, he advocated for me too. So in those 2010 tryouts, they invited 120 guys to try out. I was not one of those 120 original invites. 4 guys dropped out a couple weeks before. I got the call, thanks to Billy. Yet again, I played my heart out. I had my parents' support, and I was fortunately able to make the training team. I wasn't even supposed to be at these tryouts, but I made the 40-man roster. After that, we made it to final cuts, and I was actually one of the last 2 guys cut. That year in 2010, they decided they just wanted 1 face-off guy, not 2. Yet again, a new fire, another chip. I was making that 2014 team roster. So as Matt mentioned, I started X Factor Lacrosse, a little play on my last name, because I felt it was important to develop the next swath of face-off guys like Andy did. I was able to use the money that I made in X Factor Lacrosse to play for a trainer named Jason. As my day job was demanding, I needed to get the right, most impactful training to balance both my career in consulting and business development with my passion for lacrosse while still trying to have a decent time in New York City. That next year I played for the Cannons. That was my 3rd year now. We won the MLL championship. I was all pro, a multi-year all-star. I worked, I trained, I coached, I had fun here and there. That was basically my day-to-day for the next 4 years as I marched towards 2014. I also started to think beyond my current job as well as lacrosse. So while 2014 Team USA was my ultimate goal, that was going to be it for me. During my time as a professional, I was pretty injury-free. I had a hammy pull here and there, but like my first day at Colgate, my first week at Duke, where I was getting my MBA in 2013, I tore some cartilage in my knee. Yet again, I thought it might be over, but yet again, I wasn't going to let injuries get in the way. I put my head down, got another knee surgery from Dr. T. Mormon this time, focused on PT, focused on recruiting, getting a summer internship, and getting back on the field. USA tryouts were that fall, which meant that I spent my time traveling around the US trying out for Team USA, as opposed to gallivanting around the world like most NBA students do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I made that team. My dream came true. So as I wrap things up, I want to recognize I was the man in the arena. But I'm not here without Kim Bechtold, Jim Burns, or Neil Hopp, who started the program in my hometown. Or for Andrew Towers teaching me everything that I knew, and as my dad likes to say, ultimately everything that he knew. I don't get to this point. Without Mike Mulvey, my high school coach, taking a shot at a freshman, or my teammates in high schools and friends listening to me endlessly talk about this game of lacrosse and my dream, I don't come to Colgate. Without Jim Nagel recruiting me, or Jeff Cohen, the assistant coach, enabling me to be the best I could be at my craft, I'm nothing without my teammates. I'd say in particular Will Planner, who's not here tonight, but he's built like a corgi crossed with an ape in the sense that his legs were short and had crazy long arms, so he never had to slow down to grab that ground ball. Or guys like EJ, who are here, who had unmatched tenacity on the defensive wing. I think you dove in front of 15 different shots in our career together. Don't know how you did that. Or guys like Corp, Lally, who are Hall of Fame inductees, or K-Fed put the ball in the back of the net. I don't get through 5 surgeries in 4 years without, or type 1 diabetes without Heather, or Fired Up Chuck, or who we like to call our athletic trainer. They supported me more than you could ever imagine. I don't get a shot at the pros without David Gross, our commissioner, or Billy Day, Stash, Murph, or Graber, for drafting me and believing in me. Yet again, I don't do anything without my wing guys or my teammates, Sweeney, Smalls, Rabel, Boyle, Brody, PT, Zumo, and everyone else I competed against it with. I don't get to the pros without an incredible staff and owner. Matt Dwyer, Kevin, Foxy, Hazen for taking care of us pregame, or Adam, our athletic trainer, who always wore cargo shorts, which we all know those are pretty sweet, but he always stashed his blood sugar tester in his right pocket. I always knew where to get it. He knew what to do for me. When it comes to Team USA, that doesn't happen without Billy Redmond believing in me, or Kevin Cassis, who was the Lehigh coach at the time, for taking a shot on me, or without the rest of the USA lacrosse staff or the actual coaching staff for making us able to do the absolute most that we could possibly do. I also need to thank the doctors who guided me along the way in managing my diabetes, those who put me back together so many times. 8 surgeries on your knees and feet, a couple with type 1 diabetes, isn't an easy journey, but you guys made it possible. Before I get to my family, I want to thank the Haudenosaunee. As you know, lacrosse is a native game, one they've shared with the world. Their generosity in sharing this game with myself and so many others has given me and many others purpose, opportunity, and success in life, all because we had a stick put in our hands. So in conclusion, I want to thank my parents and my family. Danielle, you're not here tonight, but thank you for dealing with me. I'm not sure I need to say more than that. But thank you for coming to so many games throughout the years, though I'm pretty sure you had more fun when you were left at home alone and my parents were up at Colgate. Couldn't have done it without you. Dad, without you, I don't go back to Colgate. I don't come back for an extra semester. Without you sharing your life lessons, your experience, and enabling me to have the opportunities I've had, none of this happens. Thank you for being you, and thank you for making my dreams become a reality. Mom, thank you for always being my biggest cheerleader, even though it was often under your breath, behind the camera. I always knew when a ball was out. Thank you for documenting this journey. Thank you for picking me up when I was down after every surgery, disappointing loss, challenge that I went through. Thank you for believing me, even when I had a middle part more Jenkins. YouTube made every game I ever played in, except my first pro game. But I'll forgive you for that, as you were in China watching the Olympics. You literally moved satellites to watch that game from afar. So while I wrap this up, while I am getting inducted into the Hall of Honor, this is truly a family award. Without you two and allowing me this opportunity to play this great game, without each and every person I mentioned today, and many who I left off, none of this happens. Life is a journey, but it takes a village. Thank you.
To introduce our next honoree, please welcome to the stage